So, hello and welcome everyone. My name is Moritz. I'm one of the DFINITY community organizers based in Germany, in Berlin. And today I want to show you how to make the SDK work under Windows, because currently only Linux and macOS are supported. So I am just going to show you a few steps, and after you completed them, you are able to develop and try out the SDK on your Windows machine. First of all, I know I'm on Windows 7, it's old, there will be no support for it soon. Currently it's, as you can see, the end of 2019, but this will most likely be my last Windows version I use privately, so it's okay for me, and the steps should be the same on Windows 10, so everything should be fine. I set up a new user for this video, so everything's just like everything's set to default. So I have no ad blocker installed, I guess, at least, and yeah, never mind. So let's head over to VirtualBox. I know usually you should just type in the URL into the browser bar, but yeah. Okay, so we're at VirtualBox now, and VirtualBox is an application that lets you install virtual machines on different hosts. So for example, right now I'm on a Windows machine, and this allows me to install, for example, Ubuntu as an operating system, or maybe Debian, or anything else you can imagine. I can even install Windows 10 on top of a Windows 7 host machine. So it's a pretty nice tool to enhance your base operating system if you don't want to go for like a dual boot solution or stuff like that. You can just use VirtualBox and get almost all the benefits you get from actually installing two systems onto your machine. So yeah, you just click download. It's pretty straightforward, and I already downloaded the file, so I don't need to do this step. And after the file has downloaded, you just start the installer, which should be pretty straightforward too. I guess you can just click through all the default stuff. It's nothing special right there. And yeah, you just install it. This may take a few minutes. And yeah, in the meanwhile, I can explain the idea. So the idea is, as you might have already guessed, to just install a Linux distribution on top of our Windows machine. So we are able to try out the DFINITY SDK. Inside our Windows host, we will install Linux, and then the SDK will be running on the Linux that we are going to install. And I'm going to install Ubuntu 18.04 LTS, and the LTS stands for, I think, long-term support, which means that they are shipping updates for, I don't know, 4 years or something like that. So it's like a long-term supported version. So I just, like I said, click through all of this and let VirtualBox install. And I just say install all the time it asks. So in the meantime, while this installs, you could actually already go to ubuntu.com and download the newest Ubuntu version under downloads. And like I said already, I'm using 18.04 LTS. But the steps we are going to take will be the same for Debian or whatever other Linux distribution you would want to install. I'm heading for Ubuntu because it has a pretty big community, and it's, in my opinion at least, very well supported. And even if you're like new to Linux, operating systems, it's pretty easy to use for someone that has no idea about that. So I already downloaded this, but you should click on, this one is German, but it says, I guess, save file or something like that. So it has 1.9 gigabyte, which is quite big, and depending on your internet connection might take a while. So yeah, like I said, I already downloaded it, and looks like my VirtualBox installation is ready too. So I will just start this, and maybe I should change the language to English so you guys understand at least a little bit. Alright, so this is VirtualBox, and inside of VirtualBox I am now going to create a new virtual machine, which is quite easy. I'm just going to use the new button right there, and then it asks me for a name, and I will just call this, I don't know, probably DFINITY. And here you can choose your type. This is a Linux distribution, and I am going for Ubuntu. And nowadays it's very likely you have a 64-bit computer, or at least processor. So I have a 64-bit processor, so I'm going to use 64-bit. And I'm not going to use the expert mode or anything. It's pretty straightforward. Just click next. Now you can decide the amount of memory you want to give the guest system, and depending on how much resources you give the operating system you're going to install now, the less or more faster it's going to run. So I'm not going to do a lot of other things while I'm inside my virtual machine, so I just give this half of my memory, and I use the default option here. I'm going to create a virtual hard disk now. I use the VirtualBox disk image file type, and I'm going to dynamically allocate the physical hard disk size. And 10 gigabyte is enough for my needs, so I just stay with 10 gigabyte, and that's it. I just created my virtual machine. Well, not we're not ready yet. There are a few things we have to do, which might not be that straightforward if you're doing this for the first time. So yeah, you click on your virtual machine, then you go to settings, then you go to I think storage, yes, storage, and then you click the controller IDE. This says empty, no disk image file selected, and right here you can select a file you can mount. So I'm going to mount the Ubuntu operating system I just installed. So if you're trying to imagine this, the virtual machine basically fakes a real computer. So it has a virtual disk drive and virtual memory, virtual drivers, virtual network ports, and so on. And now I'm going to mount my virtual disk image into this virtual disk drive. So it's, in a sense, it's like inserting a CD inside a computer, but I'm not really inserting a CD, I'm just mounting a disk file. And after you mounted it, you press OK, and then you can actually start your virtual machine for the first time. And this will now install the operating system inside my Windows machine. Also, I'm sorry for my English. It's It's not perfect, but I'm trying my best. So I'm going to full screen this just for the sake of you guys being able to see something. Later on I think you can actually, yeah, should work. But for now it stays like this. It's not optimal, it's not the native desktop solution, but we should be fine anyways. Alright, that was quick and easy. So right now you have two options. You can either try Ubuntu without installing it, or you can install it. Because we are looking for a permanent solution, we are going to install it. Of course, on the left side you can choose your desired language. I'm just going to stick to English. And then I click install Ubuntu or Ubuntu. I don't even know how to pronounce this. I will detect my keyboard layout because I have a German keyboard, which is quite different to an American one. And here it asks you to just press some keys. And it asks you if this certain key is present. Because I have a German keyboard, it is present. Now it asks you to press it. No, this looks French, I don't have this on my keyboard. And now it shows the correct keyboard layout. And I'm going to continue. I'm just going to use a normal installation. You can choose a minimal installation, but if you're a beginner, I'd recommend to just start off normal installation. And yes, I want to download updates while installing Ubuntu. I just continue. Now it asks you if you want to erase the disk and install Ubuntu. You don't have to be afraid, because this is not actually erasing the disk of your host system. It is going to erase the virtual disk, the 10 gigabyte partition we just created before. So that's okay. And I press install now. And yeah, it says that the changes visible are written to disk, and yeah, that's okay. I just continue, and this is correct. We can create your name, and I'll just call this DFINITY, and the username will stay DFINITY2. I will create a password, and I will require the password to log in. I continue. And now it's actually installing Ubuntu inside your VirtualBox or inside your virtual machine. So this may take some time depending on the amount of memory and the amount of cores you gave your guest system, I guess, at least. And yeah. Let's just wait until this finishes. Yeah, I guess in the future, DFINITY, or at least the SDK, will be available for Windows 2. But right now, because the release that's actually available at the moment is just an alpha, Windows isn't supported yet, and yeah, currently it's being updated, I think, at least every 2 weeks. At least this is what one of the engineers said in a recent conversation. So make sure you check for updates so you get the latest version, the latest features. And yeah, also if you're having any questions or feedback or whatever, you should definitely check out our new discourse. The URL is actually, let me check, I think it's forum.dfinity.org. Yeah, this is an old machine, so I'm probably torturing it right now. Forum.definity.org. Yeah, this looks like the right URL. We're going to send invites out soon, and this is the perfect place for discussions for technical people all around the SDK and actor model, WebAssembly, future releases, functional programming, and so on. So this is going to be our main hub for developers very soon. By the time I'm recording this video, it's actually not open for public yet, but I think we will start soft rolling it out very soon. So another nice place if you are looking for a more peer-to-peer conversation, or like real-time conversation, is our Telegram channel Mission Control. Yeah, it's a very nice place to get instant feedback. Yeah, but it's a little bit more chaotic, so you should decide for yourself, or maybe join both channels to get the best of both worlds. Yeah, I will probably cut all of this out because it takes a little bit too long, but I will decide after the recording. So in the meantime, of course, we are going to head to sdk.definity.org, which is your go-to place to get access to our documentation. It's pretty straightforward. There's documentation about our new programming language Motoko. So we have the programming language reference there. We have an SDK quickstart guide and our developer center, and some key facts about the SDK and Motoko as a language. So yeah, I will probably follow the quick start guide, I guess. Yeah. So after the installation process is completed, it will ask you to restart the computer. You can just restart the virtual machine or computer, whatever. You can just click restart, and then you press enter, and then your machine should reboot. And now there's your user you just created. You use the password you created during the installation process. Okay. Alright, and now it says what's new. Okay. Set up live page. Yeah, I guess, why not? And then my password again. Sorry. I don't need that. Next. Next. Okay. So, one thing I think you still have to do is insert the guest edition CD image, which should allow you to resize the virtual machine screen to your native desktop resolution, so you don't have this tiny window, because it's kind of annoying. And yeah, it just automatically installs, and after that I should be able to use full screen, and it should automatically resize the window. Hopefully. I haven't done this in a long time. So it looks like it worked. Oh yeah, alright, perfect. So it says press return to close the window. Close this window. I will press return. Those are updates that came out since they packaged your installer, and it's always good to install updates. Just a little advice: if you're trying to use the full screen mode, you can press View or you press your host key and F. And I think the standard host key on a Windows machine is the Windows key. I will just try this now. So you press Windows and F. No. Okay, maybe it was Alt. PR. No. 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 Okay, for my keyboard it's the right control. So yeah. Or you can just click View and then use full screen mode, and it shows this warning message. Alright, I will dismiss those messages. I will first of all install updates. You don't have to do this when you're following this tutorial. It's not necessary for the SDK to work, I guess. So what are we going to do next? We are going to visit our pre-installed web browser Firefox, and we are going to head over to the sdk.definity.org webpage to finally install the SDK and make it run inside our virtual machine. So your internet connection, everything should just work by default. If it's not working, you should be able to fix it by Googling, but I am pretty confident that it works straight out of the box. So sdk.definity.org. And now we're on the SDK website. I will head over to quickstart. I'm heading down to the download and install section. So to get the SDK on your machine, you have to copy this command. You will run this command inside your terminal. You will find the terminal under Ubuntu or probably any other Linux distribution. If you look at your applications, and you can either search for it and just type terminal, or you scroll down the list until you see something like this. Should look the same on probably almost every machine, and maybe it's called command line, maybe it's called terminal, but yeah, you click this and you press new terminal. So now we have our terminal open, and I'm going to paste the command I just copied. As you notice, it's pretty slow, like I said, all computer, and I press enter. And now it says command kernel not found, but can be installed with. So this is the first thing you have to install on your freshly installed machine. So what you do to install is what the tip or the arrow message already says. So you get the command right here. You can probably just copy paste it, but I'm going to type it out. Sudo stands for I think super user do or something like that, and it means that you need special permissions to run this command. And I type, I use a little different style, but the effect is the same. Sudo apt-get install curl, and then you have to type your password because you have special privileges. And now it should download and install curl. Okay, now it has an error message. I think the problem is that I'm currently updating with this software updater, and I probably think they're trying to use the same files, which is apparently not working. So I will just wait for the software updater to finish. My bad, maybe I should have not install the updates first and just go ahead. But I will probably cut this out too, so you won't notice any of this. But maybe I will keep it, because you might run into the same error if you're precisely following my steps. So I will probably keep it, but I will fast forward until the software update has finished. So those updates have finally finished, and it now says that I need to restart to finish the updates, but I will restart later. So I will continue with the tutorial. And if you read those error messages, it actually says unable to acquire the DPKG frontend log is another process using it, and another process was using it indeed, because like I said, I was just installing update, and I think the graphical user interface Ubuntu software updater uses dpkg2. So we will try again. Same process. You can recall a command you typed in previously by just using the arrow up. So arrow up lets you cycle through all your, or not all, but your most recent commands. So I will press enter again, and now it works. Awesome. And now it says, do you want to continue? Yes, I want to continue. I press Y and enter. And now curl is being installed, and curl is actually needed to download the SDK. So curl has been installed by now, pretty quick, and I will use my up arrow to go to the command I previously copied from here and insert it into my terminal and press enter. And now it should install the DFINITY SDK. Alright, awesome, works. So there's some license information right here, and it asks me if I agree, and of course I agree. And same procedure, I press yes to agree. If you don't want to agree, you can press N, you can type N and press enter. I type Y and press enter. So now it says, alright, version found 0.4.3. This is interesting because there's a new version out. Awesome. I think the last update was, I don't know, 2 days ago, something like this. And it's easier said. Now the DFINITY SDK has been installed. It's a command line tool, so this means that you interact with it through your command line, namely through your terminal, and to verify that everything worked like like intended, I can just type dfx --version, and now it should give back the version 0.4.3. Okay, and now it says I actually haven't tried this on Ubuntu or any Linux distribution before. I only used it on a Mac. So let me just try and close this terminal window and open another one. Maybe it needs to process this new install first. Alright, let's try again. Okay, let me think. Alright, I'm doing what you usually do with something like this happens. I'm just going to turn it off and turn it on again. I don't know if you know the TV show IT Crowd. Their famous punchline is, did you try turning it off and on again? So this is what I'm going to do. I just turned the machine off. I'm going into VirtualBox again, start it again, and let's see if it works then. So it restarted. Type in my password. Got it right by now. Use those messages. search for terminal, and here it is. Actually, if you don't want to search for terminal all the time you're trying to use the terminal, you can just right click and then you can press add to favorites, and then even if you close the terminal it still stays on the sidebar, so you can easily reopen it again. Alright, let's try again. Alright, awesome, it worked. So apparently you have to restart your machine. I don't know if this is due to the software updates I installed, or if this is a mandatory thing to do. Let me know in the comments. And yeah, that's it. Now you have the DFINITY SDK working on your Windows machine. So thank you for tuning in. I hope you liked it. This is the first time I recorded a video like this, so I know there's a lot of potential to make things better. I will try to improve over the time. I will probably release more and more videos like this. Please give me feedback, even if it's harsh, it's okay. I'm doing my best, and I will most likely improve as time passes by. So yeah, welcome to the DFINITY developer community, and have a great day and enjoy the newfound opportunities. Goodbye.